To make these really tasty cheese scones, I've used this equipment. A really great set of cutters, really versatile, loads of different cutters, everything you need in the kitchen there. Got a really handy set of 3 storage measuring jugs, and they all fit inside each other, which is great. Got this great microplane, I love these. They just glide through blocks of cheese without any effort. And then these really bright, handy little mixing bowls, great for any job you might need. What better way to use this fantastic cheese than with some scones? Now, most people go for the fruit scone. Me, I'm all about the savoury. I love cheese scones. Not enough people make them for my liking. So I wanted to show you a really quick, easy way of making them. 500 grams of self-raising flour. So I've got a 1.5 kg bag here, so 1/3 of it will be fine. I tend not to weigh things too much, you just work it out. So 500 grams there, and then we want 125 grams of butter. 250 gram block here, so it's half of that. So in with that. And then into there, I want a pinch of salt and a pinch of cracked black pepper and then a teaspoon of English mustard, just to give it that real sort of kick of flavour. So just sprinkle that in. And then we want to get all the butter rubbed into the flour. So get your hands in and just really rub it together. But as you do, kind of lift it up and get some air into there as you do it. This is what will be the difference between a really flat, like hockey puck scone and a really light one. So once you've got all the butter rubbed into there, when you think you've got it all, just give the bowl a little shake and any lumps will just come to the top. Just get those and just rub your 2 hands together with the flour mixture between your hands, and that'll just help the butter just work into the flour, and you end up with this really sort of almost breadcrumb type texture. So that's ready. So just get yourself a grater and get your cheese and then just grate it into the mixture. Now, I really like plenty of cheese in these, so the great thing about this recipe is it doesn't really matter how much or how little cheese you put in there. So I'm just going to put plenty in because this is all about the cheese, and I want people to taste that really nice vintage cheddar that we've got here. So that should be enough there. And then I just want to crack 1 egg into there and then just add in the milk. Just pour a little bit in at a time, and then we'll just put the rest of that to one side, and we can add some more if we need it, because you never quite tell. Sometimes when your kitchen's really warm, you find that the flour all swells up and needs more liquid than when if it's a bit cooler, it's sort of quite tight and you don't need as much in there. So just keep working it and kind of fold it in together. You don't want to beat the life out of this. You just want to bring it together. So that should be enough there. You can see it's just come together there. You don't want it any more than that. Just put that board to one side. A little dusting of flour on the worktop there. And then just spoon your mixture out. Now, the key to making your scones really light is don't use a rolling pin. It's just use your hands and just bring the mixture together and just really gently sort of compact it almost. And press down and press in at the same time. So just press it down to about 1 inch thick. That should be enough there. And then we've got some of these little cutters. Now I want probably a fairly decent sized one. That one should be fine. And then just press down on the cutter and give it a little twist, and then just knock it into your hand there, and then just pop it on the baking tray. A little twist, that's it. And when you've got enough there, just bring the mixture back together, kind of like squash it like that and then turn it over. Again, you don't want to beat the life out of it, just gently bring it all back together, and then you can get another couple more out of there. So just press it down. There we go. What I tend to do with the last little bit is pop it into the ring mould, because you never quite get it right if you don't do it this way around. And then just press it in and it'll come out like that. And then just to make it really, really tasty, I'm going to put some more of this great cheese onto the top of the scones. Again, you can put as much as you like on here. Okay. I'm going to pop these in the oven about 200 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm going to make a quick and easy peach chutney, and the equipment I'm going to use today is this fantastic Lakeland My Kitchen non-stick frying pan. We've got these great little Kilner jars here. We've got a set of 3 measuring jugs, which is a great way to pour your chutney into the jars while they're hot. And then we've got these metal spoons, the Lakeland knives, and a wooden spoon as well. Chop your onion really finely. The finer you can get these onions, the quicker the chutney will cook. So cut through horizontally, and then just run your knife through as finely as you possibly can. So gas on, in with the onions, into the pan. The key to getting these onions really sweet and caramelised is to get some salt in there, and what that does is it really draws out all the water out of the onions and just lets the natural sugars come out and caramelise, and that's how you get that really kind of sweet, sticky onion flavour. The next ingredient to this is tinned peaches. Now, a lot of people might frown upon using tinned peaches, but for this dish, it's absolutely perfect because these are picked perfectly ripe and they're in a syrup, so they're really sort of sweet and they'll mush up really well. And what they'll do is when we add them to the pan, you can just kind of tear them up into little pieces. They'll just break down and make a really sort of rich, sweet, luscious kind of chutney. And the sweetness just works really, really well. We need to add a little bit of acidity. So we'll just add in some balsamic vinegar, about half a wine glass. Just add in a couple of handfuls of preserving sugar, and that'll just help it set when it cools down. Give that a really good stir round, and then it'll take about 10 to 15 minutes to reduce. Final little touch to this chutney is just some nice fresh thyme. Just push the thyme off the main twig and just chop that. It doesn't need to be too fine, just a rough chop. Just pop that straight into the chutney. Give that a quick stir round. Just carefully pour that into this jar. If you can pour it in when it's hot, it creates a better seal for when you're preserving it. And then we'll pop the lid straight on. And that should just keep nicely for a couple of months then. These scones smell fantastic. They must be done by now. The best way to check, they're nice and golden, and then they just sound hollow underneath when you tap them. And they're going to be absolutely fantastic with that really easy peach chutney.